Welcome back, guys. Today we are on day 33 with the theme of perceive. We'll be looking at Matthew chapter 6 verses 22 and 23 where it says, "The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness?" How you see is what you get. Life and death, light and darkness. You choose the outcome when you choose whom to follow. Let the ranger with a big flashlight lead you, and you'll get back to camp safely. Ignore the ranger with the big flashlight, and you'll become disoriented, lost, and eaten by a bear. The choice is yours. Whichever route, it's your eyes that inform your body how to proceed. They communicate to your heart and soul which way to go. Of course, no one who ignores the light thinks they'll end up as barefoot. Their path is better, they believe, but at least easier. Regardless, they are enabled to discern in the darkness that it leads straight into the bear cave. Jesus said in John chapter 8, verse 12, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." In effect, he told his listeners that if they wanted to make it out of the woods alive, they would do well to follow the one with the flashlight. The Pharisees were incensed by his claims. They asserted their unmatched knowledge of the woods and wanted to know who made him ranger. They questioned Jesus about it while a crowd was listening, and based on his answers, many in the crowd believed Jesus was indeed the light of the world, and because they made the choice to follow him, they had the light. That's how it works, in that order. When you choose to follow him, you have the light because he is the light. He's the one who gives you the ability to see the path and perceive your surroundings as they really are. There's no do-it-yourself home remedy for healthy eyes and right perception. Jesus is the only one who can make you see. Once your eyes are healthy, everything is healthy because what you perceive affects your entire being. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. Likewise, a doctor shines a bright light into an unconscious patient's eyes to check for brain death. If the eye responds to the light and the pupil constricts, the patient's brain is okay. If it doesn't, it's dead. But unlike the person with brain death, it's never too late to make the decision to follow the light. We can choose to respond to the one who chose us first. He is the light, he knows the way, and will lead us safely back to camp. And so the prayer for today is, thank God for making your eyes healthy, but ask him to help you never take that for granted and to always see clearly. And so as we move into the reflection part, here's the first one. Describe when you first realized you could see and perceive clearly. Describe when you first realized you could see and perceive clearly. How have your healthy eyes affect your whole body? In other words, how was your healthy perception of Christ affect your life in general? How have your healthy eyes affected your whole body? In other words, how has your healthy perception of Christ affect your life in general? In what circumstances have you rejected the ranger's flashlight? And what can you do to ensure that happens less frequently? In what circumstances have you rejected the ranger's flashlight? And what can you do to ensure that happens less frequently? And that will conclude our time for day 34 with the theme of perceive. As I was reading through this, I was thinking about eyes. It's like eyes is one of the most important part of our body that is like uniquely designed in ways that, not gonna lie, I'm not an eye doctor, so I know nothing about the eye except what it can do. As I was reflecting on this chapter, I was really thinking of this phrase. It's what you see will be what you're passionate about, right? It's like, I mean, maybe not all the time, but a lot of times. For me, example, okay, but sports. This is an easy one for me. I look up on stuff about sports all the time, and I feel passionate about it. And that passion could go into addictiveness, as if we are sort of being addicted to it. And so it's a really dangerous thing. It's like your eyes are beautifully made, but it could be misused so easily for us because we are all sinners, and a lot of times our flesh desires are more, we are more aware of our flesh desires than we are of what we know is right? So it's like, if you look at somebody with lust, it's like, it's really hard in a sense. It's like where you just can't stop thinking about them. It's like our eyes are being wired to our brain. And so if we keep feeding ourselves, for example, lust, right? Then it's so easy for us to lust. And we know about lust, one of the sins, one of the sins, and how when we lust after people, they're not people anymore. And right? It's like they're more like an object to us than they are actually. We don't see them as humans anymore. We see them as objects. And so we have to be really careful of what we look at in the internet. Because whatever we look up on the internet affects our personalities. And so if you read stuff about like injustice, how African Americans are being mistreated, then that's a good way of using your eyes, because your eyes are passionate about something that's wrong. That is wrong in a sense where African Americans are being wrongly mistreated just because of their skin colors. And so that our eyes are able to play a part of us where we are passionate for the right things. But if we decide to use our eyes, and like not only that, but like also, it's like we can see Jesus through the actions of other people. And that at least helps me a lot to see that there is a God, that the actions of these people helps me to see with my own eyes what kind of God I'm worshiping, what kind of God I want to dedicate my life to. And so, yeah, it's like eyes, God created them so that you can help others and help yourself in ways that's healthy. But at the same time, we don't have people who's going to tell us, sometimes we don't have people in our lives that's able to hold us accountable for the things that we look at. And so that can lead down the dangerous path of what we do. It's like, of what we look at and how that can affect our lives in our life choices. So may we end today with acknowledging how important our eyes are, how beautifully and wonderfully made our eyes are, and may we use them in ways that it is meant to be used, in ways that will help make life impacts, not just in your own life, but in the lives of others around you, so that may your actions may your actions, well, more like positive, hopefully, may your positive impacts draw non-believers to show what kind of God you serve, so that they may follow, be at least curious about, like, oh, if David does it this way, then I want to see that, because like if David does this because I saw him do it, then I want to know where he got those ideas from. And so then you can be the one to tell people what are your motives, right? So as we end today, may you know how to use your eyes in a God-loving way, in God-honoring way. But may we also be cautious about what we look at and have to self-reflect on all those the things that really matters, or we just doing it just because of short-time pleasure. So may you go and walk with God today.